世界ボイス It became weaker economically. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Because of how they feel about immigration. Ali, I am 50. I'm an IT director with a university. I really love Asia. I've been to various different countries within Asia, and I was really excited to come to Tokyo in particular because there are so many different things to do within such a relatively small space, and it seems like fundamentally a very different place to where I come from, but also in some ways quite easy to come to and to travel in. Not so much that, but Japanese cities, people, it's very well organized. So it's quite easy for me to come and to travel here. I didn't really think too much about the money. The British, so sterling has suffered since Brexit. Since 2016, it suffered a devaluation. So everywhere around the world got more expensive after Brexit in 2016. And I'm really lucky, so I don't have to worry too much about the cost. I just came because it seemed like a really exciting place to visit, and a place in which I could visit for a shorter time and still really enjoy. I didn't want us to leave the EU at all. I think we are stronger together. There are lots of problems that cannot be solved within a country and need to be solved across a number of different countries. And I think being part of the European Union was good for the UK, and it was an act of self-harm for the British to leave the EU. It became weaker economically. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Europe was our biggest trading partner, and we made it more difficult to trade with our biggest trading partner. That's silly, and that affects everybody in the UK who exports to that market. It's more expensive, more bureaucratic, more difficult for them to export to that market. Some people didn't want that, didn't want us to be a part of the EU because of how they feel about immigration. The Conservative Party in the UK has spent the last 10 years pretending that all the problems that they've caused have been caused by people coming to our country for refuge as migrants, looking for work. Those lies have been accepted, and that's why Brexit happened. But economically, it was always a really bad idea, and it now is a really bad idea. What do I expect? I expect that in the longer term, hopefully, we will rejoin the single market and become part of the economic union. And then maybe in time, when my children get to vote again in a referendum, we may see that actually we were stronger as part of the European Union and better off that way. Oh, take back control, get Brexit done, take back control, stop the boats. They believe in oversimplified three-word slogans, don't deliver what they promise, but appeal to a populist base. They are reductive because they oversimplify the complexity of the situation, but they are effective. Yeah, the power of the populist slogan is huge, but it delivers nothing. Their message was confused because their position was nuanced, but you can't solve complex global problems without nuanced positions. You can't solve them with three-word slogans. Absolutely, so simple, so powerful, really effective, really effective. To home, it's a lot hotter. It seems to me there's a curious mix of old and modern, elements of very modern society, and then signage and buildings and cultural elements that seem to have a continuity with the past. Because, well, it's on the sea. It's a place where people holiday internally in the UK, so there's always a bit of a holiday vibe. It's a very tolerant city to people of different sexual orientations. Has always been strongly associated with the homosexual community. And as a liberal, those attitudes, it had Britain's first Green MP, and those attitudes really appeal to me because those are my political beliefs and I see them in the people who live in Brighton and the way in which Brighton organises itself and represents itself as a city. So it's really interesting, in the last few weeks there has been rioting in the UK by members of the far right who have been encouraged into an extreme position of violence by what they have read on social media, and that has proven not to be true. What's been written on social media has been lies, but it has been used to justify a moral position from which some people have felt that it is acceptable to commit violent acts. The UK government are now talking about whether those online spaces need more regulation and control, need more rules around whether you are just able to post a lie and suffer no consequence or not. As a 50-year-old, my social media presence is quite small. I'm not really sure. There is a tendency toward regulation. There isn't quite such a strong belief in free speech in the UK as you might get in the United States. It's not protected in quite the same way in the UK as it would be in the United States. But by the same token, I don't think the government isn't particularly authoritarian and wouldn't seek to regulate unless they thought it was necessary.